All right, well, welcome everyone to today's presentation. My name is Kurt Nadervelt. I'm the CEO of Rainstar Capital Group. We are a private equity firm headquartered up here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Along with our direct investment activities, we also run a very robust debt advisory platform where we provide debt financing to clients that have commercial real estate, corporate finance, small business, and equipment financing needs. I'm excited to welcome to our presentation, the call today, Ken Schlachter, our managing director over in the Detroit market. How are you doing today, Ken?
I'm well, Kurt. Thank you. How are you?
Good, good. Enjoying our beautiful summer weather up here in over here in Grand Rapids. So we have to enjoy it, obviously. So
We
so
do.
today we're going to be kind of talking about a couple a very interesting subject matter. How to finance your commercial real estate, whether it be acquisitions or refinances. Here in the state of Michigan. Ken is very active and busy, obviously, over in the Detroit market. And, we operate not only here in Michigan, but a national platform. And so today we're going to be kind of talking about some of the different programs that are available for commercial real estate operators and, how they can use some of the different programs to be able to grow their business. So before we get started, though, we want to kind of throw the disclaimer out there. This presentation is not to be construed for giving any sort of legal or professional advice. We highly recommend, obviously, to speak with your legal or tax professional before you would look at, either investing into a business or securing financing or, or buying real estate. So, just want to make sure we have, that disclaimer out there. So again, my name is Kurt Nadervelt. Ken is going to be our guest speaker today, and we're excited to go through the different programs and kind of the strategies that investors can use to be able to grow their portfolio. So Ken has kind of an interesting background both on the entrepreneurial side and running businesses. You can kind of read a little bit about his bio there. He's got he's been very active in the flooring and distribution space, and then also he's been very active in mentoring business owners, CEOs, and real estate investors through an organization called Vistage. So, along with that, he is a great family man, as you can see from the pictures there. He's got a beautiful daughter who's 15 now. Is she turned 15? Ken, is that correct? Annabelle?
Yep. Annabelle's 15 in October.
Awesome, excellent. So anyway, we've built a very robust debt advisory platform here at Rainstar. We have over 200 registered lenders that primarily are non-bank lenders. So we do have some banks on our platform, but the majority of our platform is what we call bridge to bankable. So if a client is not able to get financing from their local, regional, or community bank, we are a great great partner or group to talk to because we've built just a really diverse platform, and for our clients, it's kind of like one-stop shopping. Instead of them having to go out and search and identify the right lenders or partners, they can work with us. We can easily identify their situation based, of course, on their cash flow, credit, and collateral. And once we know those things, once we've gone through the debt discovery process, we then are able to kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together to be able to identify which of our funding partners would be a good fit for that client. So that said, Ken, why don't you jump in? Tell us a little bit about kind of what you're seeing over on your side of the state, over in the Detroit market and the commercial real estate side, and then we can kind of jump into some of the different programs and interesting solutions that that clients can use. But why don't you start and tell us a little bit about what you see kind of in the Detroit market and the commercial real estate space.
Sure, Kurt. Thank you for the introduction and getting us started here. Yeah, I've always said in my travels or in my work across the country is that Michigan experiences a bad economy before the rest of the country does, and we experience a good economy before the rest of the country does. So, over the last several years, 7 years or so, we've had a kind of a robust economy or a building. I shouldn't say totally robust, but a growing economy that is fueled by a few different things. Economic conditions, as well as Detroit exiting out of the bankruptcy that it experienced a few years ago. It's enjoying some a halo effect, if you will, for people that recognize and understand that this area is a great place to invest. So we're seeing a lot of construction, a lot of new construction, a lot of tenant improvement, a lot of renovations, specifically in the downtown Detroit area, but also the adjoining Metro Detroit area, right? So Detroit is obviously is the nucleus of our center of Southeast Michigan, but we're seeing it from Ann Arbor up into Flint, into Macomb, Oakland, Wayne counties. We're seeing development, whether it's residential properties, but commercial, office space, and like I said, new buildings and renovations of existing spaces. So multi-unit tenants spaces are becoming more popular, especially downtown Detroit. And industrial areas, as the economy is starting to come back, people are manufacturing is better than what it was. But there are always people that need to either buy new facilities, move facilities, and kind of build their business as the economy rebounds.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you've done a nice job of kind of keeping your pulse on the market there with, some of our commercial real estate agent partners and our bankers over there. So yeah, so it's neat. We're kind of experiencing a similar growth over here in Grand Rapids. We're seeing a lot of new construction, especially in our downtown area, and it's really neat to kind of hear the excitement, from the folks that we interact with, the bankers and other commercial real estate partners here in the Grand Rapids market. It's really neat to, we're starting. I think you've said this as well from a lot of your meetings. Michigan's starting to get more exposure. You know what I mean? We're starting to see groups from New York and other areas, beginning to place capital here, and it's exciting. It's neat to see the growth. So anyway, let's jump into now some of the programs and solutions that we have the ability to help our clients with, right? Most clients obviously can go to the local bank and secure senior debt financing, right? And that's great, right? But again, our platform primarily caters to the folks that, maybe aren't able to secure that financing based on their credit, right? Or based on the cash flow. Or maybe the bank isn't as, comfortable with the asset class or the property type that that a client's looking to acquire. So why don't you jump in? Let's start out kind of with our, the office, retail, and industrial sector. Let's kind of walk through some of the different solutions that we have with the lending platform that we've built.
Good. Like you mentioned, Kurt, we have a lot of fund managers and offices across this country that are looking to place capital. There's money to be found and to be used for things like purchase and refinance of existing property, asset acquisition, whether it be a distressed property and or a fully funded or fully profitable piece of property, whether it's an office space or retail space, what have you. Industrial areas continue to be of interest as long as they have tenants inside of them and they're cash flowing, that they're right for our investors or for the lenders to put their money in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of what we see is a lot of these fund managers really like to take bridge positions, right?
Yes.
So if you kind of look at some of the different programs and product types, obviously we can cover your first and second lien credit facilities, mezz financing, but bridge financing. I want to kind of take a moment and highlight that we have more fund managers pounding our phones for transactions that need a quick, 1 year, 1 to 3 year, senior, first lien position facility. And the beauty of working with bridge lenders, for everyone that's listening, is they're super creative. I mean, we have bridge lenders that can fund deals in as fast as 7 days, and they love these deals. They love deals where a pre-existing exit is already in place, whether that be through SBA financing, whether that be through another bank or an agency lender. And so a lot of what we do here at Rainstar is we provide education to our commercial real estate investors to help them to understand that if you can get one of our strong, bridge lenders in your back pocket, it makes things just a lot easier, right? Because you know how it is, Ken. You know, a lot of these clients will come to us and they've got a hot deal, right? And they need
Sure.
capital now. You know what I mean? So
Right.
we see that
Yeah.
more often than not, right?
Right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's a great point. And again, our bridge lenders, and we have specific bridge lenders that or people that want to provide bridge loans. They have specific requirements. So when we go through the underwriting process, we're looking at a deal. We can somewhat quickly assess what will work or won't work. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer just because it's a type of deal. We're seeing a lot of land deals these days. Those land deals need to be, um, you know, the LTV really needs to be at 50%. But again, like Kurt said, we have a number of lenders knocking on our door that like this class of lending, and will do everything in their power to get a deal done if it's doable.
Yeah, absolutely. And another big area that we work in fact, it's our number one source of referrals, is with our banking partners. You know, we've really dedicated ourselves here at Rainstar to becoming a value-added partner with our local community and regional banks. And sometimes they have situations where they have a defaulted note on their books, right? And they just want that note off the books, right? You know, they want to give a discounted payoff, and so. We have so many lenders on our platform that love to do those deals. You know, $1 million plus. You know, commercial real estate buildings. So discounted payoffs. You know, note financing to take back the note. Those are all just really, really great niches. And then along with the other avenue, or the other thing that we help clients with is, because of the diversity of our platform, we can also help clients with working capital. We're going to get into that a little later, but for clients that are buying properties, you still need capital for working capital. You need to pay for marketing. You need to pay for operations, and there's just some really neat solutions that we have. That can really add a lot of benefit to our clients that are growing their commercial real estate portfolios. So, Ken, anything? Excuse me, that you want to add under the office, retail, industrial section, or shall we continue on now to
Yeah.
the hospitality section?
Yeah, we're gonna touch on working capital, but a lot of times we can take and work in a syndication with other loan products that we have available. So sometimes our partners at the bank level are in a workout situation with their client or with a client, or perhaps it's a client coming back to a specific lender and they can't quite get them to the lending space they need to. We can kind of also work to part and parcel out specific parts of the loan, right? So if it's commercial real estate, if it's equipment, if it's inventory financing, we really kind of have a solution that can really be syndicated to help a client out. So I think that that's one important part of what we're talking about for our bank referral partners, as well as our commercial real estate referral partners out there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's continue on now to the the hospitality section. So hospitality is a great niche. We have kind of a lot of really interesting programs as well for clients in that space. And so typically, obviously, when operators come to us, they're either looking at acquiring flagged or non-flagged hospitality assets. Very active as well in the distressed hospitality space. We have a lot of lenders that like to finance the purchase and refinance of those types of asset classes. Hospitality assets typically fall into a couple different categories. There could be an extended stay. It could be, one of a hospitality asset near an airport, a resort property, express hotel. And so we have solutions for kind of all those different categories. Obviously, non-flagged hotels, especially if you start to get into the motels, kind of the smaller balance, $1 million and below, type assets. That gets a little tougher, but the nice thing when it comes to the hospitality space, Rainstar can really provide kind of a one-stop shop for helping clients get financing. So not only, of course, can we provide the senior debt and or a fast bridge financing solution to be able to take down the asset, but we also work and have a lot of lenders that provide PIP financing, so property improvement plan financing. And obviously, when you're dealing with a hospitality asset, you start to get into the FF&E and equipment financing, and that's our bread and butter, right? So if clients or if you have operators are looking to access additional capital outside of the purchase capital on the hospitality asset, but they need to be able to provide, acquire like the restaurant, equipment for their bar and restaurant in the hotel. Or let's say they need to acquire, fixtures, or they need to acquire flat screen TVs for the rooms, or new carpet, or whatever. We have just a lot of really interesting solutions for that, especially with the the diversity of our working capital platform. There's a lot of kind of interesting second lien position type solutions that we can bring in. And then our credit lines, our credit line, especially we're going to talk a little later about our no credit check credit line. It goes up to $100,000. That's a good solution as well, that a lot of hospitality operators, typically like to look at. So continuing on from the hospitality assets, we'll now jump into another very hot asset class, multifamily assets. Multifamily is just a great, niche, and a great asset class that a lot of investors, whether it be larger or smaller, really are interested in. And so, Ken, why don't you kind of walk through, the types of multifamily deals we can do, kind of some of the different programs and product types. Go ahead.
Yeah, great. Again, a lot of it falls into distressed properties. The properties that come available are maybe multi-tenant. We're seeing, real estate investors that are kind of, sick of being in the rental space, and they have the opportunity to sell, and there's another investor willing to pick up that property. And we have a really good platform of lenders that love that. They have a large appetite for that multi-family type of properties. Again, student housing, senior housing, these are all great bases for our lenders that play in that space. We can do, obviously, as you see, Fannie, Freddie, FHA, mezzanine, bridge loans, something that is as simple as a facility that needs to be acquired and some rehab dollars be placed on it to get it up to snuff. We have some great products in that regard as well. But the apartment complexes, 1 to 5, or 1 to 4 units, we can do all day long, and provide some working capital in addition to the typical loans we can do in the bridge type of space.
Yeah, on the purchase, the senior side. So, yeah, multifamily. Yeah, and also not just the smaller multifamily, but student housing, senior housing, assisted living, all of those all of those niches are of interest to a lot of our fund managers, and we continue to see a lot of activity.
Especially with an aging population, senior facilities obviously are going to grow in more and more over the next so many years. So. With an aging baby boom population, those are going to be a very viable loan position for a lot of our lenders.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. So continuing on now, again, I think the real value that Rainstar can provide to our clients is the additional working capital programs, right? So, Ken, why don't you jump in and kind of walk them through some of the different solutions that we have available for clients in the commercial real estate space, and kind of maybe talk as well, about how we educate our clients and how they can use some of these additional working capital programs and what they actually use that capital for. Because it's not always, it's not always obviously for the purchase of the property. It's typically for other uses, right? So, why don't you kind of jump in and highlight some of the brief programs?
Sure. Well, that's a great segue, if you will. So, our alternative financing programs for sometimes we're talking more about the smaller real estate investor, which might be a fix and flip person or holding a number of different properties as a landlord. Obviously, we have loans for that, but we often will ask our clients if they need access to some on-demand capital. And we have a couple of products that are very useful. We have one that is underwritten strictly by the cash flow of the business, a business account, I should say. So essentially, we provide it's a very simple 4-step process to get somebody onboarded with that. Essentially, one of our fintech partners has created a system where the client can have access to on-demand cash. So once they're approved, they will have a specific amount of capital available they can write checks off of. They're going to connect their bank account to the system through algorithms. It's going to make a credit determination strictly on the cash flow of that business. And what that's useful for, if there's additional, in commercial real estate, it could be, maybe a piece of equipment has to be added or something has to be fixed up in regards to exit signs or a air conditioning unit or something that might be of size that might need to be fixed, or if they need to bring capital to a closing table, if you will. We have a secondary product that can be worked in conjunction with it, which is also a online fintech product which marries up accounting software with online banking credentials and a FICO of 650. And again, that can provide additional sources of capital that are there when the borrower needs to have them. And it's a very simple process. The banks just aren't lending, and it's very difficult for many people to go to the bank, and it doesn't matter how much money you have, but the underwriting requirements of a bank are very difficult for someone to get an extra 10, 15, 20, 30, $100,000 in essentially working capital. And again, we have another term loan product as well that, again, in the case where maybe it's a kitchen equipment that has to be upgraded and they need a term loan for a year, 2 years, 3 years, we have a product that will service that need. It's a very simple online process and is underwritten very easily. So those
and that, I think the point you're making is a very true one. A lot of commercial real estate investors, they think of their business from the purpose of buying and selling real estate, right? And what we try to educate them on is, yes, we have all those programs. We can assist on that front. But by really looking at your entity as a business, right, and looking at the cash flow and, leveraging your credit or leveraging some of the, additional collateral that you may have, there are other solutions available, right? And so a lot of what we see, Ken, obviously, and you see it day in, day out, is clients will come to us, we'll help them refinance their building, but along the way, they'll jump into our business credit card program. Along the way, they'll get, one of our, credit line products, and it's just a nice, it's a nice solution. A lot of what we see, though, is clients didn't necessarily know about those programs, but once they get fully educated, they spend some time reviewing our marketing brochures, they get very excited. So with that said, really encourage everybody to go to www.rainstarcapitalgroup.com/Ken. Feel free, if you have any requests or if you have any questions, to reach out to Ken. His email is listed there. On Ken's submission portal, you'll see a lot of our programs. You'll see a lot of the brochures. And so we just, we really encourage folks to go check that out and reach out to Ken if you have any sort of financing requests or questions. And Ken, we really appreciate your time today. Appreciate the work that you do, and appreciate you walking us through the programs for commercial real estate investors.
Great. No, thank you, Kurt. Thanks everyone for joining. And again, as Kurt was mentioning, that link is a site to our kind of lines of credit, and it doesn't give the full real estate program, but by all means, reach out to me if you have any questions, need additional information. If there's something we can help you with, by all means, reach out to me, and I look forward to seeing how I can help assist you.
Awesome. Thanks, Ken. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.